Hey everybody, I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you guys got some cool things while you were out. It's game hunting season now since we're well into spring, and I will tell you, I got a huge amount of decent things. Starting with this controller. This is going to be my new main controller. This I got broken actually from a Facebook Marketplace deal with another Xbox and some other stuff. And I was like, yeah, I'll take the controller. I can get it to work. And I got it to work. I had to gut another junk controller for the replacement parts. The battery connectors here, they needed a new one. So I soldered on new battery connectors that weren't rusted. And it works like a charm. But enough about the controller. Let's go ahead and get into the games. I'll start with the 360. And since we have a bunch of the Rock Band instruments, I decided to get Rock Band 3 and the Rock Band Metal Track Pack. I had Rock Band 3 before, but it's gotten expensive, I'll tell you that. I mean, maybe it's because the keyboard stuff, it's one of the only games you can use the keyboard on. But it's, it's pretty expensive. It's about 50 bucks almost. But now I can play with 4 other people with all the instruments. And then next I have the Serious Sam collection. I have this on PC, so I'm no stranger to Serious Sam stuff. It will be kind of weird, kind of using a controller on it though, especially with like any FPS. I'm not really a controller player when it comes to first-person shooters. I'm more of a keyboard and mouse kind of person. But yeah, let's go ahead and keep it moving. Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate. This is probably the way to get it on the 360. Beforehand, like when you get the base game, there's like hundreds, if not thousands of dollars of downloadable content for this. And I think, is there a 6th one? All I know is that they released tons of DLC, a ridiculous amount of DLC, which would have otherwise been earned in other DOA games. So this is probably the best way to have this version. Next and last for the 360 is Silent Hill Downpour. There's a dude named Tim I did a Facebook Marketplace deal with, and he's pretty sick now. I think he's got COVID, but we made a deal on this, and typically this goes for 60 bucks. He let me go with it for 50 plus the DOA that I showed you in a fishing game. But I don't think I was ever going to buy this game at 60 bucks, and he was willing to cut a deal, so I very much appreciate that. Next is going to be PS3, and we will start with the Jak collection. One of my followers, I believe it's The Ghost, he does a lot of Jak stuff, and it inspired me to go back and play them, but I wanted to get them in HD, so I'm glad I got this. I can go ahead and give it a try. I'll probably do this after I beat Ratchet. I'm almost done with the first Ratchet and Clank. Next is Twisted Metal. I have never played this Twisted Metal before. I have played Twisted Metal Black. I have played the original Twisted Metals on PS1. But I've never played this. I don't know how good it is. So I'll give it a shot. I mean, who knows? Next is going to be the Sly collection. And I'm a big fan of Sly Cooper. I'm glad I have a working PS5 that actually can display gameplay, because I'll probably play at least one of these, sometime soon. And then lastly, 3D Dot Game Heroes. So if you're a PlayStation person, you don't buy Nintendo consoles, but you really want to play a Zelda game, this is probably going to be the closest thing to it. This is the PAL version. And I believe the PAL version is more expensive, but it was what I found. And it plays on any PS3. They're region free, so it's a good game to have if you like classic RPGs. Next is going to be PS4, and I've only got 2. I've got Fist of the North Star, Lost Paradise. Never played this. I played the Ken's Rage stuff, so I don't think this is gonna be like that. This is not a Koei game, so who knows? Omega Force didn't do it, but we'll see what it's like. I mean, it's a PS4 exclusive. So, speaking of PlayStation exclusive stuff, Dot Hack GU. So I played the original Dot Hack games, the one where Kite is the main character, and I watched a lot of the anime where Tsubasa was the main character. I watched the anime based on this dude back when it was on Adult Swim, like in the mid 2000s, but I've never played the games. So I'm hoping it was kind of like the one with Kite, like the original PS2 games. And I believe that is him in the background, but he looks pretty freaky back there. So I wonder how that happened. And this guy, I believe he's more of a thief, like a rogue character, and that kind of speaks to me because originally, like in WoW and other games, I'm usually the thief or rogue character. So I'll definitely put my hands on some gameplay there. Then next is going to be 2 PS5 games, starting with Gundam Breaker 4. I'm a big Gundam fan, and I do like kit bashing things whenever I can build a model where my kid's not going to try to swallow parts for it. So this is kind of like kit bash the game, but I haven't played this particular one, so I'm not entirely sure how this one will work. I had the PS4 version though. And then Octopath Traveler 2, Square Enix classic RPG. I played the first Octopath Traveler. I didn't play too much of it though. This one I got on sale on Woot though for pretty cheap. So I had to snag this up with the price I did. Speaking of which, I only have one Xbox Series game, and I got this on sale for $24.99, I believe. And that's Sparking Zero. And I really wanted to play this game. I'm a big fan of any Dragon Ball game, really. Huge fan of the Budokai ones. Really like Dragon Ball Fighters. And this is going to be the newest stuff so far that they have into a game. So, cannot wait to play that. Now, we're going to move on to the Genesis games. And I only got one. And it's kind of a hidden gem. It's Viewpoint, done by Sammy. So those are the people who originally were doing the Guilty Gear games back in the day. But it's kind of like an isometric space shooter. So this is the original case. It's in pretty decent condition. Got the original manual and everything. Not too bad. I think this cost about, I want to say about $50. So one of the main reasons why I was able to get all this stuff is I severely downsized my Nintendo collection. I went from probably about 80 games to maybe 30. And I sold a lot of those down. So if you're wondering how I could afford all this, my Nintendo collection is very, very concentrated now to the games that I know that I'll play and I know that I'll keep. So that's kind of where I'm at. And I believe I shared a story with how much trade credit I got. And that was pretty much based on my Nintendo collection. I think I did put together a PS3, and I sold that too. But vastly, like the vast majority, was Nintendo games. So I didn't have a boatload of money or anything. I just I just reduced my collection down to a very concentrated amount. So last but not least, the reason why I prefaced that with what I just said is we're going to go into my Super Nintendo pickups, and these are nothing to sneeze at here. So we've got Tetris 2. This is the cheapest one, I assure you. This is like $10. It's kind of like Tetris, but you mix it with a little bit of Dr. Mario. You have a couple of tiny blocks that you want to have to eliminate by doing kind of like a match 3 kind of deal with it. But you can also kind of make Tetris, you can also make lines and Tetris lines and all that stuff. But it definitely feels like Dr. Mario with a Tetris flair to it. Next is X-Men Mutant Apocalypse. I got this for about $20, and it's a Capcom beat 'em up, but it's one player, so that's a downside. But it does have Gambit, so that's an upside, and it has Psylocke, and they have special moves where you can do a Hadouken motion, and it actually does something. I think there's a double forward, a forward dash move as well. But like for example, Gambit will throw 3 cards instead of just 1 if you use a Hadouken. Cyclops will do an I-beam, and I don't know if Wolverine really has it, but I know Psylocke has like a rush punch if you do it. Pretty fun. Like, I was able to get through most of the levels when I first started it, but I haven't really given it like a lot of time. Next is Rock and Roll Racing. So because I liked Biker Mice from Mars so much, I keep hearing from people who's like, okay, well, if you like that, try Rock and Roll Racing, because that's kind of like a better version of it. Never tried it before. I know that it has, like, I guess digitized licensed music, so there's that. So I have to watch what I record and show, I guess. But yeah, we'll check and see. Yeah, see, it looks like it says it has Paranoid by Black Sabbath and Born to Be Wild by Steppenwolf and more. So yeah, well, I can't wait to see how they digitize those songs in like a MIDI form. Next is going to be Super Valis 4. I do like the Valis series, and I think I want to get the Valis collection on the Genesis, the one that Retrobit did with the special color cartridges. It's just a lot of money, so I might have to take my time or buy those individually. This is pretty fun. It is a hack and slash game, but the thing with this is that it's really easy for you to get hit a bunch of times, like in a row, without any remorse. So you have to take things at a distance. You can use special moves to kind of keep people at bay, but there are some that aren't as strong as your sword slashes. So that's one thing you have to look out for. But it is pretty fun. It's just not a typical hack and slash game. Next is Mario RPG, and I did have this for the Switch. I beat it for the Switch, and then I sold it. So this is the only copy that I will have, and that's fine. That's okay. I really kind of wanted the old version anyway, because this is the way I remember it. The one on the Switch is an amazing game, though, and I do recommend playing that, A, because it's cheaper, and B, because there's a lot more quality of life improvements that this just didn't have. And it's way fun on both, no matter what you get it on. And then the last one, and certainly not the least, is Kirby's Dream Land 3. Now, this is one of the rare occasions that this was made when the Nintendo 64 was already out. Like, people were playing Mario 64 before this game came out. This game came out in 1997, and it utilizes all of the FX chip. Like, the graphics are very weird. It kind of looks like it's in crayon almost, but it's you definitely have to adjust your TV in order to see it. There's no brightness control in the game, obviously, but everything is super bright, and the whites really mix in with everything. And I think that might have been just a design choice by them. This isn't the best Kirby's Dream Land game, and this isn't the best Kirby game on the Super Nintendo. Superstar still beats it, and it's cheaper. But I am a Kirby fan, so I have almost every Kirby that I can think of. And this was one of the only ones that I was missing, and I'm kind of glad I got it, especially with trade credit, because I did not want to pay cash for this. So, thankfully, I got it. So, yeah, that's everything. And I'll go ahead, I'll have the tallies running as I'm doing this, so let me know what you guys got. Let me know how the weekend fared for you. I know we're knee-deep in the trading season now, in the game hunting season, so if you got anything special, just let me know. You guys take it easy.